based on multiple conversations that I've had, it does seem like the most likely scenario is that Kelsey Plum would move on from the Aces.
My basketball mind, though, is still having a hard time wrapping my head around Kelsey leaving and going to an org like the Valkyries.
Remember when the Las Vegas Aces seemed unbettable? Those days are long gone. The once dominant dynasty is falling apart like a sandcastle meeting the tide, and it all begins with Kelsey Plum moving on. But wait, there's more. A'ja Wilson is frustrated, Coach Becky Hammond is struggling to keep things together, and the rest of the league is eager to capitalize. This is the beginning of the end for a powerhouse, and trust me, you'll want to see how it unfolds. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Now, you mentioned that she didn't re-sign.
What's been a little surprising, and I think why there's so much conversation, at least from what I'm seeing, about Kelsey Plum is that during the season when the rest of the core Aces, the other, they're the core four, A'ja, Chelsea, Jackie Young, and Kelsey Plum. So when her other three, counterparts, they signed extensions, she did not.
You know what's tougher than losing a game? Losing your star player, and that's exactly what's happening to the Aces right now. Kelsey Plum, the sharpshooter known for electrifying performances, seems ready to move on. But here's the kicker. This isn't just about basketball. There's something stirring in that locker room, and it's far from team harmony.
Mentioned that she did not sign an extension, and former general manager Natalie Williams told me before she and the Aces parted ways that, Kelsey was offered an extension and declined.
Let's break it down. Plum's stats last season were stellar: minus 17.8 points per game, 4.2 assists, shooting 42% from the field, and 36.8% from three-point range. On paper, she's every coach's dream. In reality, it's been more of a challenge. Remember that heated exchange between Plum and Coach Hammond during the playoffs? That wasn't just a one-off incident. It was like watching a pressure cooker burst. Hammond was visibly frustrated, openly criticizing Plum's performance and the team's effort, while Plum, wasn't exactly taking it in stride.
When it comes to somebody like Kelsey Plum, she's coming off a difficult personal year, and she's emphasized that she wants to take time for herself, which is why she said that she pulled out of Unrivaled. So we're not necessarily in the position to, with respect to what she said, to ask her directly, and that would be the best indicator here. But of course, you mentioned my reporting, I can pull and cite a few quotes that kind of imply that, the same way that Satu said that she's working with the Dallas organization, that's been the implication, that the Aces are working to find a situation where, quote unquote, everybody's happy, which is exactly what Becky Hammond said to me about a month ago in regards to Kelsey Plum's situation.
I have this idea that teams are always going to look the way they look, and the reality is that's just not possible.
But wait, there's more. In that crucial playoff game against the New York Liberty, Plum managed only 6 points, shooting a disappointing 2 for 9. Ouch. It was as if her skills vanished overnight. Or maybe, just maybe, there's a deeper story behind the scenes.
What I do think is interesting is that there is a team that will be coming to the league this year, the Golden State Valkyries, and a part of me just kind of feels like that might be a fresh start for Kelsey Plum if she does decide that she wants to move on from the Aces. To me, it gives them an opportunity to have a great perimeter scorer, which we know that Kelsey Plum is, but it also will add a little bit of familiarity for her because the new head coach was the former assistant coach in Las Vegas, and I think that that could also be something that plays well, where you're getting a new environment and you're getting a new experience, but you're also still working with someone who knows you and knows you well, so you get a bit of the best of both worlds.
Now let's talk about where Plum might be headed. The Golden State Valkyries are ready to make a move, armed with a hefty $1.2 million in cap space. They're not just looking for any player, they're searching for a cornerstone to build their team around. And guess who checks all the boxes?
Yeah, I definitely would not rule that out. Something that really stands out to me is that, Kelsey is a Southern California native, and San Francisco is, it's within the state. California is a large state, but it's still within.
But it gets even more intriguing. The Valkyries' head coach, Natalie Nakas, was once an assistant coach with the Aces. You know what that means? She and Plum share a history, and it's a positive one. It's practically a reunion tour in the making.
And I think that stands out. To me, that's like the most intriguing destination for Kelsey. I mean, I totally understand the fit. You mentioned like perimeter scoring for the Valkyries, and they'll absolutely need that. But I think also she brings like this, veteran championship mentality that Natalie Nakaze has emphasized that she wants to cultivate in the Golden State. And so to me, that would just be knock out of the park. And they have the room to do it. They're just building their roster. Cap space is not going to be a problem. So that stands out to me, definitely.
What about the Aces? They won't let her go without a fight. Plum didn't sign an extension, and rumors of a sign and trade are heating up. The Valkyries are interested, but so are the Chicago Sky. Plum's the key piece in this puzzle.
She and Natalie were really close. Like, I remember the first conversation I had with Natalie Nakaze, she was telling me that she spent the whole offseason doing Pilates with Kelsey Plum because Kelsey had roped her into it. And they were waking up at like 6 a.m. together to go to these Pilates sessions. And I remember telling Natalie, like, that is something I would never do. I could never, like, wake up that early. And she was like, well, you should. Like, you should consider it. Kelsey has, like, changed my life by us doing that. And that's, like, something, a small thing. It doesn't really go into any reporting or anything, but their relationship seems to be really strong, and so I wouldn't be surprised.
Remember when A'ja Wilson was all about team first and loyalty? Well, those words are starting to ring a little empty now. The self-proclaimed queen of the Aces is watching her empire fall apart, and trust me, she's not handling it gracefully.
The context of the quote that Becky Hammon had given me, where she said, like, Kelsey is very core to this organization. She's very important. And so, we're giving her space to figure out what she needs for herself. But we also want to make sure that we as an organization are in a good position.
You'd think with her MVP status, A'ja Wilson would be in a comfortable position. But here's the truth. Those impressive numbers aren't the full picture. Behind the scenes, things are starting to unravel big time.
I just have a very hard time imagining the Las Vegas Aces without that core four. They were all drafted there, right? I mean, they were all drafted there. And so, I mean, look, as a Warriors fan, losing Klay Thompson, I can sort of relate to this, but that would be quite a blow for a team like Vegas. They came up together. They won 2 championships together.
Tensions are running high, and what does A'ja Wilson do? She gets into a heated exchange with Kelsey Plum. We've all had our moments, but calling out a teammate's commitment during a crucial series, that's a whole new level of drama.
Paige reminds me a lot of you. Like, you say you're not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball, obviously. But, like, she understands her privilege. It's like, what pushes her over the top, in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you. And I mean, that's a compliment.
But wait, there's more. A'ja Wilson has been venting her frustrations, and it's not just about Plum. She's calling out the entire team. We need to be better, she says. We can't rely on 1 or 2 players to carry us. Everyone needs to step up. Sounds reasonable, right? Except when you're the one delivering the message.
I understand that there could be personal reasons, but you're coming from a top-notch organization in Vegas, and Joe Lacob, as the owner for the Valkyries, he's setting them up nicely to begin. They're going to have the facilities, they're going to have all the things. But even if you just bring Kelsey Plum to the team that they have right now, as constructed, I don't think that would be enough.
I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to be the best. I get y'all saying best player in the world. That's great. It looks great. But I want to be the best person. I want to be the best teammate, because that's how I get the best out of my team.
So it goes hand in hand. That's it. And if I get mine for this, I'm terribly sorry, but it's ridiculous. We've been going through this all season, so everybody got to their guy.
Be able to get Kelsey Plum, and to your point, Callie, they have the cap space in the room to attract some really good free agents in this free agent period. So I'm not putting it past anybody to go for it and go for it immediately.
Something else interesting to me is that the Aces seem like they have a lot of decisions to make, and they haven't replaced their GM. And I was reading, your reporting, and I saw all this, like, we're making decisions by committee, which I found curious. How long is that going to go on for?
When I spoke to Becky last month, it was unclear. I requested to interview Natalie Williams recently, and the Aces declined. So obviously this is something that they don't want to talk about right now. But to me, it seems quite unlikely that they're going to even make a hire. And I know that it feels like they're trying to leave that up in the air. That's what Becky Hammon tried to, I think, imply. And when I've spoken to Nikki Fargas, team president.
The whole league has been pissed off for the last 8 months, and my players are in commercials and this and that and being freaking celebrities, and you get distracted.
There's so much change facing this team. You know, we talked about Nala Nikaze leading the Golden State Valkyries, but then we also have Tyler Marsh gone to, you know, take the helm at the Chicago Sky. No general manager. I'm told that the assistant coaching staff might not even be complete. Like we might hear of another hire soon, which is I'm trying to kind of navigate in my mind how that would look, because right now they already have 3 assistants. So a lot is changing, and they also only have 6 players under contract for this upcoming season. Look at their unrestricted free agents. Like we've already talked about Kelsey Plum, but what about Tiffany Hayes and Alicia Clark and Sydney Colson? Like those are people that, you know, feel so important to this team, and all of that is kind of just in flux right now. So you would hope to see some decisions soon. I guess that's what this time is all about.
We have to get better. We have to really take a sharp look at ourselves, look ourselves in the mirror, see our shortcomings, and then, you know, you got to make the moves necessary, whatever that means, to put the best product that we possibly can. It's not going to be the same group probably next year. It just won't. And I'm sad about that, because I really like that group. They were a pain in my ass, but I was a pain in their ass too.